So hey Lawn Care Nation, I'm here at the Equip Expo 2023 with Jonathan Guarneri from Exmark Manufacturing. Hey Jonathan, how's it going?
It's great to see you here, Julio.
Awesome.
Glad you're back again.
Yeah, it's 2019, my last time when it was GIE Expo at the time. So maybe let us know what is new with Exmark.
Yeah, so we got a lot of great new products this year. Everything from a lot of new battery stuff to new stand-ons. So super excited. Give you a quick brief rundown. So battery powered 30-inch comes with 3 10 amp hour batteries. Wow. So the runtime on it is just absolutely phenomenal. Our lineup of stand-ons is now a full complete lineup. Everything from that unit to get you into the backyard with 32, 36-inch decks. So that's going to be our Vertex E-series.
Okay.
Then our mid-level, which is 48, 52, 60-inch decks, is our Vertex S-series. And then brand new this year is the Vertex X-series. So high horsepower, large deck sizes. So Kawasaki FX 1000 on it, carbureted or EFI, 12 mile an hour speeds, deck sizes 52, 60, and 72. And Julio, check this out. Look at those tires on the 72-inch right there. Those things are beefy. That's going to be an accessory that'll be available for those guys that are looking for less turf compaction and improved hillside stability.
That's awesome. So you mentioned the 32-inch Vertex.
Yep.
So is that replacing the Stars? Is it just the name?
Yeah, so what we've tried to do is give it more of a family look. So when you see the equipment, you'll notice that family look there, right?
Okay.
Everything down from the E-series, S-series, X-series, and the V-series. So just to kind of give that more of, like I said, a family look.
Okay, awesome. So maybe if we can take a look at that commercial 30 V-series, that would be awesome.
So essentially it's the exact same machine as our gas-powered 30.
Yep.
All we've done is taken the gas engine off and put a battery-powered head on it.
Okay.
So I mean, you can see you're going to get the exact same performance out of this unit as you would its gas counterpart. So what's really cool is here's your area where you can put 3 of those 10 amp hour batteries. You can check to see what the status is on the batteries. Like I said, it comes with 3 10 amp hour batteries and a quick charger. So you can get these recharged from 0 to 80% in about an hour.
Okay.
And then to get it from 0 to 100 about 90 minutes.
Okay, awesome. So what's the estimated runtime on this?
So estimated runtime is going to be well over an hour.
Okay.
That is obviously very dependent on cutting conditions. But the other option that you have back here is your speed control. And one little fun fact for you, I actually just learned this. This right here is a key.
Yep.
So I didn't know that.
Okay.
Learn something new every day, right? If you do pull the key out, make sure that this isn't going to be in any spot where it's raining, because this does seal it off. But you have 3 options now. So you have a low mode, which is obviously going to give you your best run time. You have your auto mode. So what the deck will do is it'll actually notice when it's under a heavier load condition, and then it will automatically speed the blades up for you. And then, hey, if, let's say, I don't know, you're one of those guys who mows in the pouring rain with a 21-inch and tries to get the last job done, you can throw this guy into max mode and you're going to have full power. But you still have the ability to bag, mulch, or side discharge.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I definitely would like to get this on on some of those wet lawns. You guys have seen what I've been doing in the absolute pouring rain with the 21-inch V-series, and it's an absolute beast, man. It picks up all those leaves, all that wet grass. I haven't had absolutely any issues, and it's been absolutely awesome. The power is unbelievable.
This is the new Vertex E-series. Again, it's a lot of just styling changes to give it more of a family look across our entire stand-on lineup. So you see here we have the engine guard that protects the engine and all the components under here.
Okay, that's new.
Yep. And then fuel tank color has changed. Again, all of our other stand-ons have the black fuel tank, so a black fuel tank. This still opens up to give you good accessibility to your belts, battery, all that kind of fun stuff. stuff. Other than that, those are the only real changes or updates to it.
Single point height adjustment?
Single point height of cut on it, which
so mine was just the
the first year, yeah. So, you know, again, customer feedback on that after the first year was, hey, we need that single point height of cut.
So the 4 point's not available anymore?
Yep. So that's totally discontinued.
Okay.
And it's single point regardless of it's the 32 or the 36.
Oh, okay. Awesome.
But this is a great unit for those small areas if you have to get into gated backyards. 7-mile-an-hour speed. This thing just absolutely cruises.
Yeah.
Again, easy accessibility. Check your hydro oil when it comes time to do your filter changes, or you have to change the belt for the hydro system. Great, easy accessibility.
That's awesome. Yeah, I've done, you guys have probably seen on my Instagram all of the videos getting into super tight backyards with this thing, just squeezing through some pretty gnarly spots. It's an awesome machine if you've got those really tight gated backyards.
Yeah.
That's fantastic, and awesome to see the single point height adjustment on it.
And it's a breeze to use, and it's, you know, the system on it is real simple to use. You know, 1, 2, 3, 4 inches, and depending on which hole you're in, you're either at, you know, right at 0, 1/4 inch, 1/2 inch, or 3/4.
Very cool.
So, yeah, and then one other question we get, and I always like to tell guys, and obviously, like you were talking about, getting into those tight areas, why we have a more flexible discharge chute on this one. This is so that when it flips up, this is within that envelope, and if you do rub up against something, this is a lot more forgiving.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So, you know, just one of those little things.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So what do we got?
So, like I was talking about before, this is our Vertex X series. So this right here is our 52-inch. A couple of highlights on it. So we did put a jack receiver on that. So if you're doing blade changes out in the field, you just get our jack, and boom, you're ready to rock and roll. Every unit is going to come with a trash container. So as you're mowing, you need to pick stuff up right in there. This is the Kawasaki FX 1000 EFI ETC, so that's 38.5 horsepower, electronic throttle control, and probably one of the coolest features on this that I like are these magnetic head covers. So it's real easy to blow off the chaff that's going to get on your heads, keep that engine nice and cool.
Very cool.
And Kawasaki did a phenomenal job kind of restyling, right? Yep. With this, you know, the rain cap here for the air filter. So this thing is just an absolute beast.
Awesome.
You'll see, you know, twin fuel tanks on here for 14 gallons. Cup holder that's in the left-hand side. Again, traditional throttle control on this. So this is a mow-by-wire. So there's no throttle cable going to it anymore. So when we were doing our VOC, or voice of customer, one of the things that customers didn't like about the electronic throttle control was a lot of other OEMs use like a push button or a rocker switch, and they wanted that adjustability of the throttle control as opposed to having 3 defined RPMs. With this, it's infinitely adjustable from idle all the way up to high speed.
Awesome.
Our patented magnetic removable pad, so when it comes time to check your hydro oil, do any kind of maintenance, super easy to access. If you need to adjust your tracking, we've made a change here, so you only need 1 wrench because of these springs right here. Yep. So, you know, as the unit gets older, starts to, you know, get off on tracking, super easy to make those adjustments.
Are those fans down there?
Yeah, so we got 8-inch fans on top of 16cc pumps.
Okay, awesome.
Wheel motors are the HGMH wheel motors, so same wheel motor that's in our 96-inch diesel. Wow. So this thing drives like a Cadillac. The other thing that you'll notice is the floor pan.
Okay, yeah.
So we're about almost double the size of the closest competitor, and made a change here so that, you know, the big thing with stand-ons is hillside stability, right? Because you're able to lean into the hill. Well, what we noticed when we were watching guys was they were almost rolling their ankle because because they were just going into a 90-degree, right?
Yeah.
With this, you're able to really plant your foot and be in a very natural position when you're going over, when you're trying to lean into a hill.
Okay, yeah, that's smart.
So again, just one of those things, watching customers, seeing how they run our equipment, and seeing what we can do to either make it more comfortable or more productive. Another one of those things that we noticed was when guys were adjusting the height of cut, they were having to lean over to see what their height of cut was.
Okay.
So, real simple solution. Put a decal on the inside too.
Oh.
So if you're walking by the side of the mower, you can see what the height of cut is. Or if you're standing on the mower, it's real easy to see where your height of cut is and where you're pinning it to get your height of cut.
Awesome.
So it's those little things, right?
The devil's in the details.
Exactly. And again, it's all about the customer, right? Trying to make you guys more efficient, more comfortable. When you're on these things all day, that's what you want, right?
Absolutely.
No in-season maintenance. These are our Series 6 decks, so bulletproof spindles on them, our Series 6 spindles. One change that you'll notice is, again, our double captured anti-scalp rollers. Again, took in customer feedback. Our single capture, customers had issues with it, with breaking off those anti-scalp rollers. Now we have it double captured, so it's going to improve your durability, less likely to break off those scalp wheels.
Awesome. So you guys, I heard you guys also have a Quest battery.
Yeah. You want to go check it out?
Let's go check that.
Let's go check it out.
I'm all about the battery this year.
Yep. Oh, believe it or not, I didn't think I'd like this. I'm a big, my heritage is commercial cutting. I work for my uncle's landscaping company, and this thing is just a ton of fun. So again, same setup as all of our other mowers. We aren't sacrificing durability, quality of cut for anything. So again, Quest V-series, just like what you're used to. Some of the bigger changes on it. So parking brake is integrated. So when you move your drive levers in, parking brake automatically disengages. And another thing that I really appreciate about this is the simplicity of how you run the unit, right? So you have your display here, which is going to give you what your battery percentage is at. And then, hey, here's your low blade tip speed, there's your high. Here's your high drive speed, there's your low, and then there's how you engage your PTO. So with battery stuff, there's a fine line you have to walk, right? Because you can do so much cool technological stuff with it, but sometimes it overcomplicates the machine, right? So in the backside here, you'll see there's 6 compartments for our 10 amp hour batteries. When this ships, it ships with 4, and it comes with a 6 bank charger. So you can charge all the batteries at the same time. And what we're saying is when you have 6 batteries, you can cut a little bit over an acre with this before you'll have to recharge the batteries. And again, you can see here, you have a battery light indicator to show just, how much battery is left in them. But you actually get what the percentage number is on the display. Yep. And again, another one of those cool things with battery stuff is obviously, you want to keep the batteries cool, right? So when this machine turns on, you kind of hear these little fans start to buzz, and it's like a bit of like a mini cooler in there. So it's again,
that actually
one
looks,
of those cool things.
I'm noticing the inside here looks exactly like the portable charger that I've got.
Exactly. And all of our batteries are interchangeable with our Flex Force system, whether it's a Quest V-series, a 21 V-series, or the commercial 30 V-series.
Awesome.
Yeah. But this thing is just a ton of fun to cut with. USB charger right here for you, so you can charge your phone while you're cutting. And hell, even if you want to have a Bluetooth speaker, right? You're not having to listen to that engine noise. You can plug a Bluetooth speaker in there and just rock out as you're mowing. So what would
this is a residential machine or prosumer?
Correct.
Or residential?
Residential machine, yep. So again, right now we have the Quest V-series, which is your residential, your full-fledged commercial, which is your Lazer V-series, and then next year you might see something that would fit right in the middle here for your more prosumer, but we'll have to talk about that one next year, Julio. We'll get into a little bit more detail on our Lazer V-series. Again, with all of our battery stuff, we don't want to sacrifice durability, quality of cut, or anything that customers have come to expect from Exmark and Exmark mowers. So you'll notice more or less looks just like a Lazer. Full suspension seat on it with our patented rubber ISO mounts. So it gives you a really, really smooth ride. Has the same DNA as our Vertex V-series, except we have 2 additional batteries in it. So it's our big hypercell batteries. So there's 10 of them stacked in there under the seat. Gives you more than 7-hour runtime depending on cutting conditions, and it's going to perform just like, you know, a gas-powered Lazer. You will see on this we do have our adapt feature on it, which gives us the ability to adjust the rake of the mower or the mowing deck. So depending on what your cutting conditions are, whether it's wet, whether it's dry, whether you have stemmy grasses or what have you, you can, from the operator seat, no tools required, adjust your deck rake. So that's been an awesome feature.
With the 30s and the 21s.
Yes.
I'm always changing the height between the rear and the front so that there's a bit of a pitch. Sometimes forward, sometimes rear, depending on the condition.
Exactly.
And it makes the biggest difference.
It really does.
Just even one notch, up or down.
It's awesome. And it's so simple to do here. You know, on traditional ZTRs, adjusting the rake, I'll give you a real quick story. When I used to work for my uncle, I was like all into the science of mowing, and I wanted to make sure that our rake was perfect. So I went to the manual, and you got to get a tape measure out and measure this, make sure it's on a level surface, blah, 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 blah. Spent like 2 hours doing it and ended up making the pitch of the deck worse than it was before, right? So this is super simple. You can make those adjustments, and hey, look, if you don't like how it's performing in whatever setting you changed it to, just put it back to its home setting, and it's just like when it came out of the factory.
Awesome.
So, and then
go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, so for operation, super simple display right here, 4 buttons so you can cycle through your various screens. The really cool thing about electric units is we're able to adjust our traction speed independent of our blade tip speed. So on traditional gas equipment, if you want to adjust your blade tip speed, you have to throttle back. But when you throttle back, you're decreasing your ground speed. Because we're so independent systems here, you could have a high ground speed and a low blade tip speed, or vice versa. Low ground speed, high blade tip speed. Obviously, with it being electric, we got LED lights on the front, and that's one of those things that, you know, we really didn't get an appreciation for it till we had it on units and out there with customers, specifically this time of year, right? It's starting to get darker a little bit earlier, and having that light is the difference between finishing a job because you're able to mow 15 minutes more, or having to come back the next day to the same job site to mow for 15 minutes. So it's those little things.
So what's the battery size on this unit?
So the battery size on it is 18.4 kilowatt hours.
Oh wow, that's pretty big.
And that's with, again, having 10 of those hypercell packs in it. Recharge time, so currently we have a 1.2 kilowatt hour charger. So it'll take a little over 12 hours to charge it up, but we're working on a 3.3 kilowatt charger, which is more or less going to cut that charge time in half. But one thing for guys to, you know, be aware of with this transition to electric is you want to make sure that your shop is capable of charging these units. So we suggest a dedicated circuit with at least a 15 amp breaker on it. Ideally, it'd be best to have a 20 amp breaker. But it's just those things to think about. And when you're charging it, you know, you don't want to be using extension cords. You know, they'll heat up, and it's not the right thing to do. So again, it's just some of those things that customers have to be mindful of as they're transitioning from gas powered to electric. electric power.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's one of those things. One of the reasons I started really experimenting with the electric stuff early on, because it's like, you know what, this stuff is going to happen, and I'd rather work out the kinks now than when you're forced to do it.
Exactly.
Because right now, if it doesn't work out, or I forget to charge a battery, I can pull out the commercial 30 gas and go for it. But getting into that rhythm and stuff, and it's not that bad once you get into the rhythm.
But I mean, like anything new, you have some slight growing pains, right?
It's funny, the first times I took out the battery mowers and battery equipment for that matter, I had the gas stuff on me, and quickly,
just in case, right?
Within the first week, I stopped taking all the gas stuff. Because it was like, you get into that rhythm of knowing, okay, well now I can do this many houses, or I can do that, or whatever the case may be, right? So
when you were just talking about, hey, you know, remembering to charge it or understanding what your runtime looks like, all of our commercial V-series, so right now the Lazer V-series and the Vertex V-series, comes with what we're calling Horizon Connect. So it's a mobile app, and what it allows you to do is it allows you to see what your battery percentage is regardless of where the unit's at. It allows you to know where it's at, right? Whether you're with the unit or not. And then the other really cool thing is what it starts to do is it starts to track your statistics to say, hey, look, on Tuesday, you used up this much battery percent. On Wednesday, this much percent. So if you're noticing, hey, man, on Thursday, I cut it super close to making sure I had enough battery, you can be like, hey, maybe I need to change my route up a little bit because I'm only using 30% on Mondays, but Tuesdays I'm using close to 85% kind of a thing. So, and then there's other things to, you know, make sure that you don't get caught in the middle of a field a mile away from the truck, where, you know, you can put it into limp mode at like 10%, and this is all adjustable. So depending on how much you want to gamble, you can say, hey, at 10%, the blades will shut down, and then like when it gets into 5%, it'll make it so it drives very slow, but you have enough juice to get back to the truck. But let's say if that does happen, right, where you're out in the middle of the field, super easy to disengage the drive wheels on this. What you'll see is there's a little plastic cap right here, a rubber cap. You pull this off, and then you get a 3/8 drive socket, and you just turn that a quarter, and what it does is it pulls the magnets from the motor to allow it to freewheel. One thing to be cautious of is we tell guys when you're towing it no more than 5 miles an hour. Otherwise, there is the potential that you could damage these motors.
Good to know. Yeah, with the obviously a completely different beast, but with the commercial 21, what I learned to do, I'm running 3 batteries with it. So what I do is on some of the days it's all push mode jobs, all small city properties. So I'll start with the first battery, and my route density is really good. So once I get about 4 houses on average per battery. And so when I finish the first one, I'm always going back and forth to the house. I throw the first one back on the charger. I still got the other 2. I can do the next 8 houses on those 2. When I'm getting near the end of those ones, it's back for a bathroom break. I grab the one that was ready. It's ready to go. And it's more than enough to go through the whole day. So you learned, like you said,
little tips and tricks. And then, you know, let's say there's somebody who doesn't have the ability to go back to the shop during the day, or, you know, go back to the house. You know, you can get a power inverter for your truck, or keep more batteries on the trailer.
Some guys are doing solar on the roof. And stuff. Very cool.
You know, the F-150 Lightning. There you go. Right? I mean, those things will power your house for you know, a few days if the power goes out.
72-inch Vertex. That's a beast. That wouldn't even fit on my trailer.
This is for getting some serious cutting done. Again, 12-mile-an-hour speed, 72-inch Series 6 deck. This thing cuts some serious turf. We'll give you guys a sneak peek. Something that we don't usually do is bring engineers out to talk to customers because they're engineers. So this is Mike Fredenberg.
You gotta say mean things.
He's the lead engineer on this project. Him and his team have done a phenomenal job. making sure that this unit won't only meet your expectations, but exceed your expectations.
That's awesome.
One of my favorite things that they worked on is what we're calling the Exmark XL24. So this is going to be an optional accessory for you, and it's like a super single, right?
Wow.
Like they have on tractor trailers as opposed to the dual wheels. So this is a 24 by 16 by 12 inch tire. It actually gives you a better contact pattern than having a dual wheel kit on it. So, you know, if you have, let's say, lawns that are a little bit wetter, it'll give you that additional float so you're not sinking in, increases your hillside stability. And the other really nice thing is, if you look in here, obviously this is a really deep rim, but to take these on and off is super simple. You just take the current tire off, put this one on. With some of the dual wheel kits, it's a bit of a process to take them on and off, and it's something that when you put it on, you're keeping it on. But let's say on Wednesdays you mow a property where you need that additional float or additional hillside stability.
4 bolts and you're...
Exactly. So again, keeping that customer experience in mind, understanding that customers do want to do a variety of jobs with one machine. They got to be as productive as possible. This is the unit for you.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, that's the thing I like about with Exmark stuff they put out like that. Like you look at it and you're thinking like, that's a huge tire. Why? But as soon as you start mentioning the dual tire, I've heard that from people that have those, and it's not something you're going to change out. And the same with like the Tractus tires. People are like, why are they honeycomb patterned? There's a reason why. Because they're going to last way longer than the damage that can result from the other style.
And it's, again, you know, our engineers are phenomenal. I love giving them a hard time, but don't worry, they give it right back to me. They know I can't count past 10 unless I'm wearing flip-flops, and then I'm maxed out at 20, you know? But hey, that's what makes the job fun, is the people that we work with, the customers we get to work with, like yourself. That's what makes the job really rewarding.
Yeah, it's awesome. And it's awesome as well. You guys have been very acceptant of any feedback. Right? I remember, and I tell this story all the time on the podcast and stuff, about when I first got the Staris and the bagger attachment with it. It was a little bit of an issue where it was trenching out the lawn. And I came to my first Equip Expo, or it was GIE in 2019, and I had put that video out, so I was like, uh-oh, I'm going to see these guys, I wonder what they're going to say. And the first thing that you guys were saying was, come here, I want to show you what we've changed. Right? And I was like, that's awesome. Like, how much more can you ask from a company than that?
You know what? You got to be humble. We know we're not perfect. You know, we try to do our best to make sure we're getting out and working out all those fine details, but unfortunately, every now and then you miss one of those little things.
It happens.
It's so great to have the relationship with the customers where they mention that, whether it's directly to us or, hey, we're online just like you guys, listening to various influencers, watching videos, and it's our responsibility as product managers to pick up on that and give that feedback to engineering and say, hey, this is what we've heard. Let's go fit up a unit, replicate it, and figure out a solution to address the issue.
That's awesome.
So,
So awesome. Thank you so much.
Hey,
Jonathan,
you're so welcome.
So much of your time.
No, hey.
I've had him at my disposal, which has been fantastic. So yeah, it's awesome to
hey, it was a long trip for you, so we got to give you, we got to make it worth your while. You know what I mean?
There you go. That's awesome. So you guys, if you're at Equip 2023, make sure you're stopping at the Exmark booth. I'm going to head outside as well at some point and try out some of these big bad boys that I never get to use in my own business. So that'll be awesome and a lot of fun. Thanks again, Jonathan.
Hey, you're welcome.